5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, and welcome to Spotlight on Port Huron. My name is Christina Sanchez. Today we have with us Lorianne Vogt, the director and owner of Elliott Company and also manager at Yonkers. We also have with us Rhonda Potter, who is an international artistic designer for MEI salons and also a manager at Yonkers. We also have with us Deputy Richard Duchant of the St. Clair County Sheriff Department, and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hi, could you tell us a little bit more about the DARE program?
Yes, the DARE program is a 17-week-long program. It deals with resistance techniques taught to the 5th grade elementary school level. We teach to the 5th graders basically as an exit level out of elementary school into junior high school. The program is basically designed as it started off in Los Angeles in '83. We picked up in the St. Clair County area in '87 of the program. The program was a pilot program for about 2 years, taught here in Port Huron Area School District and in Marysville. The program has since grown to 6 officers. We have 6 officers teaching the program right now in St. Clair County. We've got all but about 5 schools in the St. Clair County area that are receiving the program. We also have a board, which is the St. Clair County DARE board, which oversees a lot of the DARE functions, a lot of DARE officers and such. And the general purpose behind the board is that they assist us in different types of programs and fundraisers and stuff. It does take a certain amount of funds and such to run the program. My salary is taken care of as well as all the other officers that are teaching the program, but there are some things such as certificates and booklets and t-shirts and those types of things that a lot of the schools help us with, but we rely on fundraisers like the fashion show that is being offered here today. Would you like to talk about?
Sure. You are in charge of this fashion production, are you? Is that right?
Rhonda and I both are. What it is, it's part of a hair design show and fashion show, which we like to call production because it's something that the area is not used to. Everything's choreographed, and we have dancers that come in. We have models, area models, and some models outside the area too.
Okay, so it just isn't your basic, runway
No,
type
it's more like a
show.
theater type. It's definitely something for the whole family to come see that they'll enjoy. It's more like, going to a show with your whole family, but it's really all choreographed, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Something you can make a night out of.
Right.
Okay, and where will this be held?
At the Thomas Edison Inn in the ballroom, and it's going to be March 7th, and the doors open at 6, and the show starts at 7 o'clock.
Okay. And who is taking place in this show? Where do these fashions come from?
It's going to be at Yonkers. What we're doing is showing a variety of fashions. The name of our show is Dare to be Different Retro 93. The idea behind Retro 93 is we're showing how fashions make a big turnaround. Things that were seen in the 60s and the 70s, you're beginning to see on the runways again for the 90s, along with Rhonda's hair designs.
Right.
Okay, so now you will do the hair to go along with the outfits?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with my first part of the show, I'm going to start off with some 60 looks in the hair, and then I'm going to continue on from the 60s to the 90s. So we're going to have a lot of fun with the hair. And then on Lorianne's part, where they're showing a little bit more of the fashion, all the hair will be done to go with exactly what their outfits are.
Are you going to have formal and casual wear at this show or production?
Well, it's going to be a good variety. Again, in Rhonda's part, she's going to have some of Kathleen's formal wear.
Yeah,
correct?
I'll have some of Kathleen's formal wear. And the Miss Blue Water girls, some of them will be there, and they'll be in their own gowns.
So it'll be kind of interesting to see. And the fashions, we're going to range from everything from the nautical, which is going to be big this spring and summer. It's a look that'll always come around. So it's a good investment, along with, excuse me, one thing from the past that's coming up that a lot of people that I'm sure that used to wear them is going to cringe when they hear this, but the bell bottom is making a comeback.
I've still got those in my closet.
Yeah, I see them.
Get them out.
So yes, the bell bottoms are coming back, and hopefully we're going to be getting our stock in, and we'll be able to show those too, because those are fun. So the people who wore them are going to get a good.
A lot of stripes too, right?
Yes,
Ryan?
stripes is going to come back. Flowers is coming in strong too. A lot of
Prints.
the things. Yes, Prince is big. Now, for the traditional, excuse me, person though, not to worry. Liz Claiborne and different designers like that have the more basic but yet with a little bit of the flair again too. So we're showing a little bit of everything.
And how do you see the trends in hair coming in? Is
Well-
it straight hair coming back in, and
Straight hair definitely is coming back in. It's a little bit more softer. I mean, even with the shorter haircuts, a lot of it is more straight, more casual, easy. You know, no time to spend with it. It's really easy. Perms are real soft. They're not heavy-duty curly or anything like that anymore. We've kind of come back and forth with the flip too. The flip's coming, the flip's going. A lot of volume at the crown. That's really big right now too. And color.
okay. Will there be any like special guests taking place in the show, or even participating? Like
Well,
as
we-
far as area.
We have some
celebrities?
of the deputies going to be modeling, so that's
kids
worth
out
it
there.
right there.
For all the dear kids out there, yes.
Yes, we're gonna
I will
get
be
'em on
modeling,
stage.
as well as a couple of the officers from the city of Port Huron.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. I even had some of the kids make their request. I want this one and that one. So I said, no problem, but they're being really great with that. And we have also with LA and Company, Mark and Leslie Buckley, who do the dance choreography. So that's going to be great too. So we have some good dance numbers too.
Okay. Now with the whole production, are you going to have like, a lot of people? Like how many people take place in this? Is it like a big
How
stage
many did we
production?
figure?
or-
About 60
Yeah,
models?
we got
60
about
models.
60
It's going
models.
to be a big event. It really will be a big event.
Okay. Now how did you pick these models?
Well, some of them are models that have modeled with LA and Company for years. A lot of them are employees of the store going to go and represent. And then in Rhonda's case,
I have a lot of my clients who, you know, they get their hair done at the salon, so I'm using them because their hair looks good and everything, and they'll make good models.
Okay.
And some of them they held guns to.
which was tricky going into the police department with a gun and tell them they had to model, but it worked. So
Now, how many males do you have modeling for the show? Is it more female than male, or?
I
Might
think
have a
so.
little bit more female, but we do have males,
Yeah, we
yes.
have the guys in there, so it's definitely a show for
Everyone.
the whole family because we are showing children's fashions
Yes.
along with the hairstyles
Yes.
too.
We have some really cute children's scenes.
Yes,
Okay, now where can you get these tickets to go see this show?
you can get them at the Hair Design Studio at Yonkers. The Thomas Edison Inn is selling them. Dare representatives are selling them, and some of the models also.
Okay, and how much will these tickets be?
$15 in advance and $20 at the door.
Okay, then thank you.
I'd like to also say that, you know, and when you think of a fashion show, you think of somebody just going up there, and this is my idea of it, when, you know, and I'm not anybody that goes to all these different fashion shows, but I was totally impressed. They did this for me last year and helped me out with the DARE program last year. It was a real good success, and when I saw the program or the production, I was totally impressed. It's more of an entertainment thing than it is
It really
a fashion design type thing. But you know, you get the fashion, you get the design, and you get good entertainment because they put on quite a show. It's really good entertainment.
How did this fashion show come about?
Well, Rhonda and I both want to have the opportunity to get on stage, for instance, the new fashions at Yonkers and so forth, and your hair
Put
designs.
some new hair designs in.
And this is the best way to do it, but our purpose wasn't really to go out there and make a profit, but more or less go out and show the new trends and so forth. So Rhonda and I got talking, we decided that we wanted to pick an organization to donate the money to. And we had done a show in 90, I think, or 91, that benefit DARE, and we were really impressed with the program, and I myself have some nieces and nephews that have been through the program, and I was really impressed with it, and I knew it was a good organization that really could use some help, so that's come, and I know Rhonda has some of her own ideas on why she wanted to.
Right, yeah. Just mainly, a lot of people still don't realize, although the mall has been there for a little bit over 2 years, a lot of people don't realize that Yonkers has a hair design studio. So this way, you know, it's coming out more publicity, more people will know. That way we can get more business in, and, you know, just to get out there and, you know, let everyone know about our stylists, because all the stylists in the salon are helping me out a great big deal on this. So we're all putting the effort into this because it's a lot of work.
Right, now as far as these proceeds, what will DARE benefit from them? What will DARE receive? You know, what will all this stuff go towards?
the DARE program itself runs, my salary is paid for by the respective police agencies and such, as well as all the other officers. But the program itself, the materials that we use in the program are things that we purchase through fundraisers like the fashion show. We also have our local PTAs are real avid supporters of the program. Lions clubs, Kiwanis, those types of people do support the program too, with different types of donations. I do talk at a number of different organizations such as the Optimists and the Kiwanis and such, and in turn that they have been graciously enough to support the program. And we purchased a number of different things. The DARE of St. Clair County, the board itself that we organized, has realized that the certificates that we give out, normally kids will just wad it up, throw it in their throw it in their desk drawer and forget about it. Well, what they've done is they've taken it upon themselves to make sure that each one of the frames are framed. Each one of the certificates are framed so that they are more apt to be put up on a wall. So that it's more reinforcement. They look at the certificate, they think of DARE, they think of what we've been teaching them the last 17 weeks. It's just basically another reinforcement issue. The T-shirts, we give out a DARE T-shirt, which has been symbolic with the DARE program. It's not something that's required, it's not something we have to do, but it's something that, again, we are talking about trying to reinforce the knowledge that they have, reference to learning what they learned in DARE, and then thinking about it. And if they're thinking about it, then if that time does ever come up, such as a kid or somebody coming up to them and trying to pressure them to get involved with drugs or to get involved with something, then they can use those techniques and be reinforced with using those techniques. Ways of saying no, dealing with peer pressure. We deal with basically 3 types of drugs. We get in, we describe all the different types of drugs and what can be brought up to them to be used, but basically we call them entry-level drugs. It's alcohol, tobacco, and marijuana. If some of the kids are going to get involved with it, they're going to get involved with that first. They're going to get involved with one of those 3. They will, if they do get involved with those, they'll move on to other drugs. But those are the entry-level drugs. If they a kid just doesn't go right out and do
Right.
cocaine normally, or heroin, or those. They normally start off with getting involved with cigarettes, getting involved with alcohol, something like that, prior to moving on to those other harder drugs and such.
Right now, this is a 17-week program?
It's a 17-week-long program. We deal with a number of things: consequences, self-esteem, risks, peer pressures, all the gamut of the problems that could arise from the kid getting involved with it. We end the whole program with a culmination, which is a graduation. We graduate the program. We invite a number of dignitaries, such as speakers, such as the sheriff and the prosecutors, and all good role models, good people of the community that have something to say to the kids. And they do. They come out and they talk to the kids about why it is important that they take this pledge, and that's what we do too. We take a pledge to remain drug-free from this point on. With that, the graduation is kind of a send-off, and this is when they get their T-shirt and their certificates and those types of things.
Now, do you feel that 5th grade is a good stepping stone to start this program, or do you wish to go any younger?
The reason we target the 5th grade, the reason the 5th grade is the targeted group, is because it's an entry level, or it's an exit level out of the elementary school. It is a time where they should not have, at this particular time, they shouldn't have been pressured to get involved with drugs. Hopefully we're getting them before they get that pressure. Once they get out of 5th grade, in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, that's when the pressure starts up. That's when they start getting involved with cigarettes, alcohol, those types of things. We right now are piloting a program in the junior high school. The Port Huron Area Police, or Port Huron Police Department, is piloting a program at the 7th grade level. And this basically is just a reinforcement again, and it's a shorter version. I think it's a 10-week version of the program, to try to reinforce, try to reestablish some of the things that they learned in the 5th grade lessons. Right now, the kids that I taught in 7th grade, or in 5th grade, my first year, are now 7th graders, and they're going through the 7th and 8th grades now.
Okay, thank you very much. It's all the time that we have for today. For more information, where can they get a hold of you, or tickets or anything like that?
Yeah, they can call us at the Hair Design Studio, which is 385-1024, for any more information or where they can get the tickets at.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll be right back.
This could be you. I say could because a lot of kids don't make it this far. Instead, they end up here, or worse yet, they end up here permanently. Don't drink and drive. It not only could wreck your friendship, but it could also ruin your future.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Spotlight on Port Huron. I am the host, Becky Patterson, and this is Marian Stackpool. Thanks for being here.
It's nice to be here, Becky.
She is in charge of pastoral care at Port Huron Hospital and also a coordinator of a new group here called Rainbows for All Children. And we'll be talking about that. What exactly is Rainbows for All Children?
Becky, it's a support group for children, kindergarten actually, through grade 5 who have experienced a significant loss, whether that's death or a divorce.
Yes, both are a great loss. Where did you get this idea from? You know, just pop out of your head? Or?
Well, when I came to the community, I was involved with some of the adult bereavement support groups that are offered here, and every time we did one of the educational series, I would hear from parents about, what about my children, what about my children? And we realized that there were some excellent therapy sessions going on, but we didn't have any group support for children. So I kept looking for some type of program or curriculum, and I read about this in an article, and knew that there was a training site down in Detroit, so I did go down there and attended a all-day meeting, and realized that this program, I think we could really bring back and adapt to the needs here and the children in Port Huron.
There's a great need for it. When do they meet?
The classes meet once a week for 12 weeks. We meet on Tuesday evenings from 6:30 to 7:30 at Roosevelt School.
Okay. Typically, how many children would be there?
In our last session, which we just finished before Christmas, we had 45 children. When we first started the program, we've had 60, so we've
really
done 3
shows.
sessions. Right, we've
There's a
done 3
need.
sessions.
What would a typical gathering be like, Marian?
Well, when the children come to class, we meet in the media center, and then they go with their facilitators into a group for probably about 45 minutes.
Okay.
Teachers have a textbook that they use and a curriculum that we follow. We have stories and games. And then after 45 minutes, we come back and we do a gathering as a group, talk a little bit about the evening, anything that's left someone might need to share with a larger group. And then actually we have a little ceremony. We have a song, and the children have kind of come up with their own ritual and the way of closing together.
Yeah, that shows that they really work together.
Right.
Also, the games make it seem like, it's something fun,
Well, we try to do that. No one's going to sit for 45 minutes
Yeah.
and listen to a book. So hopefully, using some of the activities that we've had in the stories have helped children identify what's going on.
Is there a fee for this?
No, there's not.
That's good.
The program is sponsored by the Foundation at Port Huron Hospital and the Festival of the Trees. Actually, the seed money that helped us get started was provided by Mrs. Syme. After her husband died, she asked that memorial donations be given to the pastoral care department at the hospital. And the exact amount that we received in donations is what we needed for the first starter kit for the first 30 children. And then the Festival of Trees said that they would continue to sponsor the program.
That's good. Are there any sort of rules for confidentiality that these children follow?
Yes, there are. I think it's important that anyone that's participating know that we try that this is a safe place, that you can share who you are and what's going on. So we do have some very basic ground rules. I hope I can remember most of them, but one of the keys is that children don't have to share until they're ready, that we stress that feelings just are, so they're not good or bad. We have a right to whatever we feel. We ask them to stay focused on the subject and then not to share anything outside the group that happens within the group. They can share what they talk about, but they're not going to share what another child says.
Yeah, it gives them a sense of security.
Yes, and I do stress that with the parents. We have a session with the parents before any new children come into the program, and that's one of the things I try to stress, is that not to ask the children too much about what happens in the group, that it's their time and their place, and also the facilitators. We don't talk about the children outside of group either.
If you want to become a facilitator, do you have to have any special requirements or training?
Oh, okay. The facilitators are all volunteers, and the majority of them have experienced maybe a significant loss in their own childhood,
They can relate.
right, whether a parent died or there was a divorce, or they have a special interest in working with children. The initial training was in Detroit. We spent a day down there, and now we do the training right here in Port Huron. Yes, we do have a training session.
Convenient.
Right.
How many kids are generally in there?
As I said, the first program we had 60. We've done 3 sessions. We average between 45 and 50.
Do they tend to have more, are there for a loss of a death or divorce loss?
Most of the children that are in the program are there because their parents are going through a divorce. And in the groups, the actual groups themselves, we have no more than 5 children for each facilitator.
That's good.
What we try to do then is to have children in a particular age group who've experienced a death in one group and children who've experienced a divorce in a different group, if we're able to do that, because even though grief is grief, there's some issues that they deal with that are particular to that situation.
Yeah,
We try to be sensitive to that. Right.
How long does each session, the whole session, last generally?
The first 3 sessions, we've only done 3 so far, and they've all been 12 weeks. We're going to try something different this time and do just 10 weeks, mainly because of spring schedules.
Yeah,
and so
vacations.
we're still learning,
Yeah.
what fits in best for parents and for children. And so we start February 23rd, and we will do 10 weeks and then evaluate that at the end of the program.
Okay. So does each session have a theme?
Yes, we do. I brought a copy of our curriculum here, our textbooks, and the program originated in Chicago. It was a woman, Susie Yale, and after she went through a divorce, she said she looked at her children and realized that they were in a tremendous amount of pain. And so she wrote a curriculum with the help of some educators and friends and took it to the school systems in Chicago. So it was originally designed, to be used in schools.
Yeah.
And there are themes for each week, and then the curriculum and the activities vary depending on the age group and the development of the children. So one lesson topic is why my family, and another one is on change. And I think what the program tries to do, the purpose of the program is to help children realize that there will always be change, and that each change offers an opportunity for some new beginnings. So we help them, I think, identify some feelings connected with that and to validate who they are and how do you express that, and hopefully give them some tools.
Yeah, so they can deal with it better.
Right.
You ever notice any progress in a child, or can they come back more than once?
Sure they can. I think that as we go through some of the changes with our losses, it affects us differently at different periods in that process. For example, when there's an initial, let's say a divorce, there's some of the feelings that are connected with that separation and living with one parent and feeling torn between the parents. Let's say one of the parents remarries. Well, that brings a whole new set of feelings and adjustments. And if someone's going to have a child, again, there's changes. So the children could be at different places in their own process, and they could come into the program at different times. So yes, they could come back.
Okay. Is there anything a child there said to you and really made your heart skip a couple beats?
I remember one of the activities, and it was a picture at that particular level that the children had to draw their family. And we looked at the workbooks after, and they had drawn wonderful trees and flowers, and there were no people in their houses. And for the child, he said, "But there's nobody there for me anymore."
Oh.
And that's how she felt. There was another activity one time where we were just coloring, and the child looked down at the crayons, and there was a red, a blue, and a green, and he said, "I feel like that blue crayon." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, I feel like the blue crayon in between my mom and dad."
Oh.
Real torn. And so I think it's the honesty of the children that does move me, and a lot of the facilitators.
Is there a special party or get-together at the end?
And we try to have it a celebration when we conclude. We always have pizza, and they invite their parents. And we've done some different activities. We've created a rainbow with all of their pictures. and they've decorated that. We did a tree for Festival of the Trees this past year. We went to a puppet show one time at one of the local churches as part of our closing. So we do try to celebrate that and give everyone and give them a diploma that they've kind of.
They get a diploma?
Yes, they do. They get a diploma that they finished this class, and hopefully they'll move on to the next.
Is there something from your background that really inspired you this or has helped you dealing with these children?
Maybe a couple things. My father died very suddenly 25 years ago, and I wasn't there when he died. I came in for the funeral, of course, and went back home, and I didn't realize until I was in training for hospital ministry, really, that I had kept inside an awful lot of my own grief, and it was very unresolved. And as I worked through the pain of that many years later, I realized the impact that it had in my life. And I decided that if I could make some kind of commitment to working with people who've experienced a loss, I would. And therefore I worked with adults for a long time and realized, as we said earlier, that children had tremendous needs.
Yes.
And I was a teacher for a number of years. I taught elementary education. And so I knew something about learning, something about children. I don't have children of my own. And I knew something about grief, so I thought maybe I could combine those two learnings and learn from the children what it's like for them to experience these losses. And I think, when you create the environment where they can share, we do learn from their experiences.
What did the children say that they liked the most about it?
I think we try to create an environment there where the children feel safe. And we make it fun.
Yeah,
they like coming back. We do certainly different activities.
And they make friends.
Right. Coming into the group, they come for the first time and they see 40 other children that are going through the same thing. They realize they're not alone in this process. And they make new friends, or sometimes they see friends from their own school that they had no idea, they were going through the same thing. Children have said, of course, they like the party. They like, they'll mention specifically different activities. When we did the tree this last time, we had each child put their handprint on the skirt of the tree, and one of the girls said, I liked the handprints. Another girl said that, of course, she liked the party. She liked her facilitator. And I do think that having a community-based program, it's always new for the children. I mean, we don't know if there's been a problem in school that day or at home, because they come and we can always start new.
Do they mention this program at the schools?
Yes, they do. As I said earlier, I met with Mr. Kimball and the elementary school principals, and so our resource is often through the schools, the teachers, the counselors, make referrals, and we send information to the schools and to the agencies every time we start a new program.
If someone's looking for more information or has any questions or comments, is there a number where they can reach you at?
Sure, they can call me at Port Huron Hospital, and the number is 989-3110.
Well, thanks for being with me, Marianne.
Thanks, Becky.
We'll be right back with another edition of Spotlight on Port Huron.